Well, good morning, late morning zen. There's Bashful and Naked. We put them out there while we clean the barn up and everything, security and all that stuff. And I got my boy Noah out here with me, and he's enjoying the day. Now, he came to me, several years ago, and he's my dog now, and so's Roxy, and Samson's got hip problems and stuff like that. And there goes Mari. So I'll clean it. She's all smiling. Oh no, you're busted. Clean it. Anyways, it's Happy President's Day, and I'm doing a morning zen. Now, Noah, good boy. He's a good boy. He's a good dog. Look at him. He's all waggling. I mean, he's a great dog. I can get down here and play with the bones and everything. He ain't going to bite me. He's playing keep away, whether it's food or a bone or whatever. He's just a great dog. But there was something, he's kind of hard to handle, and everything. But he's kind of hard to handle, right, Noah? He's hard to handle. He just got, it's different. And everybody's, well, what's going on with him? Why does he do this and that and this and that? Well, this fella, come here, buddy. Comes when he's called, he sits, he does this. But early on, and then he and Nash got in a fight, and so that's his little nose thing. It flares up every once in a while, like, sinus deal or whatever. But anyways, Noah was, wonderful, loving people. Ann Williams and Alicia Adair and all those guys, they brought him because little health issues, and he was really hard to handle. And he's such a good, well-behaved dog. With me, well, what was the problem? Well, like I was showing the other day with Wynn and Chris the other day with the new dog. Brain fart. Mia. Well, anyways, they had this pinch collar because the lady was so small. She has this fat, happy, joy little pit dog, and so she was putting this pinch collar. I mean, it's like torture into her neck, so she could handle it. But then when you get around her head, she would growl and try and bite people. It's because she was being tortured. Well, look at Noah. He's such a great dog. What's going on with him that he would, be that hard to handle? And innocently, these beautiful, loving people named him Noah. And so if you put that into consonants, you get no and I kind of like the So anyways, but when you talk to an animal, and you tell them no, Noah, no, Noah, sometimes, even the name can give them mixed messages. And so he gets confused and tries to figure it out. It's hard for them to figure out what they actually want when they're trying to communicate with you and you're trying to communicate with the dog. That's all training is, other than obedience and stuff. It's communicating with these animals, on how they're going to live. They're domestic creatures, so they want to, look at him. He's just sitting here having a good time. Gets along with some dogs he doesn't. He'll kill a bird, and, attack a cat and kill a possum and get into the treats and run around and just be generally, he used to escape, but he loves it here and he's never escaped for quite some time. The last time he escaped was one of those idiots from unofficial Guilford County Watch, Gretchen, whatever. She came over and he's like, man, this chick's nuts, I'm out of here. And he jumped over the fence and took off, and she was, and just bad energy. But anyways, that's my boy, Noah. And so, there's things that are subtle that people need to pick up on when they're trying to communicate with these dogs and then get them what they want to do, Bashful's come in. She's was really scared. She was in the home for 8 years. And now I can touch her, she was literally on her haunches in the corner of the kennel. I was trying to put a leash on her when she first came in, when I was taking her in, when it's cold. And now I can go in and, but it's compassion, patience, and repetition is the key to these guys. And you got to read them. Like Noah, Noah. It's a beautiful name, but it would confuse any dog. And then we have Bashful, and then little bitty Mia, that was doing this and that and the other thing every time, people were around their head because it hurt, putting those things on every time somebody gets around her head. All of a sudden she's, in one of those collars and it's hurting, she's going to act up. But that's Noah. Just food for thought. Another joyous thing is, people have loved to do the rescues, and there's this SPCA group and that SPCA group. And I was just thinking about the founder that started the ASPCA back in 1866. And then it was 1865 they came, and the first legitimate animal cruelty laws was in 1865, I think. But anyways, Henry BERGH was the one that did that, and then they used the first animal cruelty laws to create child cruelty laws. And so they used that because we're animals, and so that's how they got that. But the first legitimate legislation was, but Henry BERGH, he was an ambassador to Russia right after the Civil War. And this guy was, beating a horse up, and he got out and stopped it. So he had to resign his ambassadorship, and then came back to New York and started the ASPCA. And then a couple of years after that, I think in 74 or 72, that's when the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and then my friends, but they started in San Francisco because San Francisco couldn't be done, outdone with New York, because they had, the robber barons at that time and all that stuff. So they started the San Francisco SPCA, which was the oldest nonprofit animal rescue SPCA in the country. And we went up to a seminar there, and it was great. But it all started with a guy in Russia beating a horse, and Aaron BERGH. And but just kind of watch what we're teaching the animals, and yeah, what, Noah? That's submissive and everything, and you have your alpha dogs, and he's allowed me to be the alpha, and his buddy, look at that nose, Jimmy Carter. See, he knows how to do imitations. Okay, Nixon. Yeah, anyways, that's it. It's a beautiful day here. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. It's going to rain the next few days, so we got more cedar and stuff. We got 8 puppies coming in and a mom, and it's going to be great. They're 5 weeks old, and so we got the vaccines for them. They're on ice, not on ice, but they're in the fridge. And oh, McGee, and then we got all that. We're going to redo and get the kennels all cleaned up. And oh, Noah, you're going to help too, aren't you? Come on. Oh, the good boy. Yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm off to help more animals and do a few things and move some gravel around and this and that and that and this and this and that. A lot of tail wagging. Keep in mind, these animals come from death row, and so like McGee, he had a home, then he got dumped off, and then the people were retiring, but they wanted to make sure he's safe, so now this is his home. But the average animal, average dog that's hits the dirt, has 3 homes, has had 3 homes in their lifetime. That's the average. These guys, when I first started back in 93, there was 17 to 21 million animals killed in the United States every year. Now I think that through the, pediatric spay and neuters and proper training and, people with the microchipping and all that stuff, that's reduced it greatly. I remember everybody, including me, was ignorant about the microchipping. They're all gonna get us. They're gonna start chipping people. All the conspiracy theorists and everything. it really, Australia really led the way with that. And some of the seminars I've been to up in San Francisco with the SPCA there, and those folks really love my Partners for Life programs that we did in Desert Hot Springs, really into the pet overpopulation there. But, proud of that. But man, I tell you, Australia really knocked it out of the park when it came to the microchipping when it first started coming out, and finally we caught on here in America, and it's really got a lot of return to owners and stuff like that. I had a couple people call me once and thinking it was because the dog was microchipped, it would track them. It doesn't. If they're picked up, they scan it, and then that's in a database and get your dog to your home and stuff. So anyways, it's so beautiful. I can't wait to get the garden going. We're all getting spring fever, man. Yeah, that's little Mia. That little, the little baby. That's McGee. We got him some really nice treats and bones, so please send in those donations. We just spent $300-400 on stuff at the Tractor Supply. They're red. Yeah, the good boy. And there's Mia. Mia's a good girl. Mia's a good girl, and you're a good girl. Yes, you're a good girl. And she was wouldn't let a couple people in, but she was, settling in. And there's Samson. He's got hip problems. And then we have Ronaldo, and and Scooby Dooby Doo. Never Scooby Don't. Yeah, so we're gonna change Noah's name to Yessa. 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 Anyways, I'm not sure if that's proper, but anyways, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, because I didn't want anybody thinking like that kind of sounded funny. Yessa, like, what I mean? I don't want to be a Karen. And but yeah, would be Noah's name or something. Also, when animals have come from a cruelty case, change their name completely. Because every time they hear their name, like Billy or whatever, it's coming, and they freak out. So, they really don't want to respond to the name because it gives them angst. So what you do is change their name if they've been cruel. Watch the names you name them, and watch what you do when you put stuff on them, and try and figure out why the animal's acting out. What actions have we done? And then they start acting out. Start looking at it like you go to pet a dog, he turns his head, he's been smacked and stuff like that. A lot of times submission is just normal animal behavior. The alpha and the submissive one, they will present that because they don't want any problems, like what Noah was doing, was rolling over and things like that. And if you have an aggressive animal, it's small, that wants to kill everything, you can handle it. And it's a small, how little tinky dogs are. When things come around, just turn it on its belly and rub its belly. And that's a submissive thing, or trying to attract its attention before it gets, if you see something coming and it's going to act some way, do a reward, and stuff like that, distract it, give it a reward and let it know it's okay. And sometimes when they're acting up, say the new animal comes around, don't pay attention to the new animal, but pet your old dog, which seems kind of cruel at first, but pet the old dog, because it seems like, okay, now every time this dog comes around, I get petted and a treat. This is kind of cool. Nothing's absolute in the animal world. You never know. But, I've helped over 60,000 animals find homes. 99.9% of them, pretty much came from death rows where nobody knew anything about them, wandering the streets or turned in because of this and that. But it's been rewarding. But yeah, Noah is now and Scooby Dooby Doo is never Scooby Dooby Don't. Man, I'm rambling. I gotta get to work, man. It's so beautiful. It's like, I wish I was at the beach surfing, but I'm in North Carolina helping animals, and that's Sarge, the majestic beast. That old guy. He just follows me everywhere. It's so around the house, this and that, to the bathroom, out of the bathroom, to the kitchen, helps me cook, helps me get cleaned up, helps me sweep, helps me mop, helps me do the dishes, helps me with cookies and treats. Good stuff. Love for all. I'm off to help the animals. Woo woo. Where's my finger? There you go.